Happy pre-show, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the
Yes, happy
pre-show.
pre-show.
Got a good segment one planned, I'm sure. I know I saw a few things since we had like a week off. I just want to talk about a couple of them and a bonus one. Um, Not much in news. We got some more X-Men reveals. We'll talk about a couple of trades coming from DC, and we'll talk a lot about Jason Aaron.
Who's having the best time of his life right
He
now?
is living his best life. The lesson there is don't go exclusive. Okay,
Yeah,
keep your priorities, on the prize. Marvel's definitely paid that motherfucker's bills for a long time, but
yes.
um, I mean now he gets to have fun. You know,
hmm
we got a double dose of food news per usual. One good, one bad. I'll let you decide which one.
Oh
We get
yeah,
a moment
we'll,
of
we'll
just
decide.
Duke,
Yes,
Duke
Duke.
number four, Duke number four. And then, man, a lot of Marvel. There wasn't a DC book that even came close to making my top three this week. Alan Scott was good. That Green Lantern book was good, but the Batman like Dark Age was okay. But it's like I didn't get it. It's like a new origin, and he was just kind of a douchebag. Bruce Wayne is just kind of a douchebag. Okay, I
Well,
don't
yeah,
like.
I mean he is kind of like
He didn't go to the movies with his parents. He didn't go to the movies. What kind of origin is that? I don't know. I have faith in Mark Russell to turn it around, but um, a lot of Marvel, and then an Image book that I knew was going to be superb, and it was. But yeah, what's going on with you, man? Doing all right?
yeah. It was a very interesting Easter day today.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
today is Easter. Happy Easter if you
yeah.
celebrate.
Happy Jesus rising from the grave and turning
Mhm.
everybody into zombies because he's a lynch day. Um, but yeah, it's.
Right.
I was looking. Someone posted like all the other holidays that happened today.
Mm.
Today is also like is International Pineapple on Ham Day.
Well, that kind of goes with Easter dinner,
I know
though.
it kind of goes with Easter dinner.
It does.
Yeah, it
Ham
kind of
on
does.
Easter is kind of like a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like that one kind of caught my eyes. Like, ooh, hey, I don't like
I love
pineapple on
ham.
my
I love
ham.
pineapple on anything, though. I'm one of those pizza pineapple. It's like I'm not like reaching out for it, but I'm not like, like if people are like completely grossed out by it. Like I can't believe this is actually a thing, and it's like
Yeah,
it's just
I mean, yeah,
pizza. They put
if you like
everything on
pineapple on
pizza.
pizza, that's your thing. It's not mine though. I mean, pineapple.
Yeah, I don't mind ham and pineapple. I
I can
like
eat pineapple by itself. I can eat ham by myself, but when I mix it together, not my type of thing. Kids enjoyed the
really
Easter. So
festivities.
yeah, the festivities. Harrison got
Festivities.
the Miles Morales, aka Spin, one from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the short-lived series.
And what is a spin? Is this a brand of toy?
No, that's his name in it
Oh.
because there's Spider-Man, there's Peter who goes by Spider-Man, Gwen who goes by Ghost, and then Miles who Spidey, and
Oh,
then
I know what animated show you're talking
yeah,
about. The
and
one,
then
yeah.
Miles goes by Spin. It's like
Okay.
only 2 seasons, and we got he got
That's
that, and
cool.
then
You guys
Daisy
do
got
egg hunting or
no.
yeah, we don't do that either. Y'all still got snow on the ground, don't you?
Yeah, we still do. It's melting.
It's hard to hide eggs in the snow. But yeah, it looks
Some
like a
of the
pretty good show. I think Taylor will be here inevitably, forthcoming.
well,
Kind of
he's
want
a
him to see.
wizard.
Yeah, I kind of want him to see the intro. I have a new intro special for today. Today only. Today's the only day we get to celebrate this wonderful occasion. And I don't know. I want him to be here because I know he has so much to say and will be like, oh, wow, when I bring up, what's actually going on. But he'll be here. We'll wait on him a
Yeah.
few more minutes. It's only 7 o'clock. But yeah, it has been a great week. I'm sorry to see it end. I got so much gardening done yesterday. Holy shit. I got so much work done. I only got half done of what I wanted to do, but what I did want to get done was like at the very tip top, on my list. So yeah.
No, we had that snowstorm, and it was kind of just like, yeah, not gonna do much. Just wait for
Yeah,
it to
I wouldn't
melt.
have either. Yeah, I wouldn't have either. Just wait. All right, let's get this thing going. Let's do it, y'all. We'll just have to wait on Taylor's slow ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. He's gonna miss it. Here it is, right here.
Not too bright, though.
That's right. We are not too bright. Oh, how about he just missed it? Just missed it. I'll bring it up again. Woo! Oh yeah! Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It is another episode of this Geek and Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Homer, Taylor, and Andy. Taylor, you missed the opening. I had the I just take a snippet from a movie that's kind of applicable to our mediocre show here, and it was the Oracle saying "not too bright" though. Why? Because today is the 25th anniversary of The Matrix.
Oh, is it?
25 years. Of course, it came out on Easter. I mean, it's about Jesus.
I doubt
It's
it
a
was
movie
Easter
about Jesus.
that year, but yeah, whatever. But
Was it? Did it actually come out on Easter, or did
Yes.
it come out on like Good Friday of that?
did it actually come on? It would have come out on a Friday, sure.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like the Easter weekend.
Also, I doubt it was even Good Friday. Easter just jumps around a lot, so
It does, but it was Easter weekend that it. That it
Easter
came out.
adjacent.
Yes, it is Easter adjacent, and it's definitely about learning who you are, death and rebirth, but with an anti-capitalist, anti-technology spin to it. And of course, that's exactly what we needed at that time. Leroy from the Comic Book Bullies was talking about The Matrix and said, "Man, this movie has aged poorly because everything came true." And kids today just accept it as fact. They're like, "Yeah, of course, AI is going to murder us. It's happening right now, Dad." But yeah, I wanted to celebrate The Matrix because, like, my favorite action movie. Action is so great. Speaking about dope action, I wanted to mention X-Men '97. Has everyone caught up on 3 episodes?
yeah, I'm caught up.
I am caught up.
It's fantastic. I mean, there's not really much to say. It's following
All
storyline.
Saturday
Um,
morning, just to get the right energy going.
Yeah, me too. I like to watch it Saturdays as well. But yeah, it's really great. The animation is awesome. The fight scenes, holy shit.
Oh yeah, fight
The
scenes
fight
are amazing.
scenes are incredible in this, man. The one where Madeline is fighting Magneto
Yeah,
is amazingly
amazing, yeah.
cool, man. Oh, it's so great, so great. But really, I'll leave that in here because we'll talk about it every week. But the Three Body Problem on Netflix. If you haven't watched this, you should check it out. It is very high brow science fiction. It's basically about an alien invasion, but it's like how an alien invasion would like happen more realistically in a weird way. It's like these aliens are still like 400 years from getting to us because they can't travel faster than time. So they send these faster than light supercomputers that are made out of atoms to basically spy on the entire human race, and they fuck up science. Like they fuck up all the particle colliders in the world. They start murdering scientists. Why? Because they know if given 400 years, we will be more advanced than they will, and they won't have any opportunity to kill us. Now, that's just breaking the surface of the show. It is fucking wild, dude. I streamed it in like 2 days, and it was so great. So great.
I mean, there's something that's kind of like inherently like the question that comes up when we're talking about like alien invasion, like anything.
Yeah.
If they're this advanced, why the fuck do they even care? And like even in this case, like you're
They
giving us
explain that.
they give it more of a solid explanation, about like 400 years or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
if they have mastered time travel,
They have
how
not
much more
mastered time travel.
well, then how are they fighting us for like 400 years in the whatever?
They were able to bounce a signal off of the sun. And then that was the initial signal, right? And then all those decades later, when it took light years, to get the signal there and back. I mean, this starts off during the Chinese Revolution. That's like the first scene. And then it builds through history in just this crazy fun way, dude. But and then eventually they use quantum entanglement. They send an atom at the speed of light, so it gets here, in another whatever how many years, and it's actually a multi-dimensional atomic computer, dude. The show is wild, but it's all leans into actual things that could happen in the context of like physics and quantum physics. Everything in it is theoretically possible in science. And that's what really blows my mind, because I'm kind of a nerd for that stupid sci-fi shit,
Yeah, I mean that
and
is
this leans into it so well.
This
that
sounds
is
like this sounds up my alley.
that
You
is
should check
kind
it
of
out, bro.
the type of sci-fi that like Star Trek is kind of a
Yeah.
standard bearer for.
Yeah.
Yeah, a standard bearer for.
Yeah. Amanda hated it. My wife hated it, which makes me know that I made a good choice. She's like, I don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, that's what makes it so good.
obviously she does have
You're not
terrible
supposed
taste.
to.
It's very to
Yeah.
you, you know.
Yeah. What'd you guys do this week? Anything cool? Anything worth mentioning?
What do you see? Kung Fu Panda 4 with my nephew.
Oh, that's the only one I didn't grab.
It's fine. I mean, it was. If you've seen the other ones, this one's also, it's fine. It's good. I don't think
Yeah.
it's as good as. I think the second one's the best, but
That's the one where they got like the team, right?
no,
Or is that the first one?
that's the first one.
Okay.
The second one is the one with
Well, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman as the evil peacock.
Oh, I kind of remember that. I'm a fan of the first one, I guess.
The point is that like the Kung Fu Panda movies are legitimately pretty good. Like they're one of those like movies that's like accessible for kids, but you don't mind watching. As an adult.
Nice.
But then I also went to go see the one you probably do have a package for here, Godzilla Kong New Empire.
Oh, they team up against Tiamat. Is my what I'm hearing?
Godzilla just beats the shit out of Tiamat on his own.
Oh, what does Kong do the whole time? Sits back and watches.
Okay.
No spoil. We're spoiling it, everyone. It's going to be spoiled.
Spoiler.
All right. So most of the movie is Godzilla going around to like nuclear reactors and eating lunch. He also goes to Tiamat and just kills Tiamat. Just I guess I never said if Tiamat should be a girl because that's like a female like dragon from mythology or whatever. But
right.
But the point is that Godzilla just like one shots Tiamat and then just like sucks up all the radiation juice in her like solar charging spot that she was hanging out in.
Okay.
He didn't even care about Tiamat. He just wanted to hang out where Tiamat was living. But anyway, then Kong's down in Hollow Earth, like exploring the place, and he finds the other giant apes, and he runs afoul.
Strong. Apes
Sure.
together strong.
Shut the fuck up. But anyway, he runs afoul of like the Scar King, who's like the head ape. He's the one you see in all the trailers, the one who's got like male pattern baldness and like orangutan arms.
He looks like the one from Donkey Kong.
He looks like Lanky Kong's midlife crisis. Yeah. But anyway, but this dude has like a whole army, and he also has like this ice dragon that he has like that begrudgingly follows him because he has like a spike or something that has like a shock collar on it or whatever, or the equivalent of it. Not an actual shock collar, but like the equivalent.
No, I got
like,
you.
He can tweak it to make the ice dragon hurt, so the ice dragon does what he says. Anyway, at the end of the movie, Kong and Godzilla team up to defeat the ice dragon and Scar King, and that's pretty much the whole movie.
Oh, so Tiamat's sort of like a misdirection.
Tiamat has basically no role in the plot. They are a momentary nuisance for Godzilla. Which actually that is an interesting point that like Godzilla and Kong both like take out numerous foes with like zero difficulty. In fact, Godzilla kills this giant sea serpent off screen.
They don't even show it?
No, it's like the the little mini Kong they show in all the trailers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he tried to lead Kong to like this dangerous spot, like, I'll let the sea serpent take him out while I run away. But then Kong, like you see the little mini Kong running away, and then you see Kong show up a second later. He's killed the sea serpent. He's like, hey, here, you want to eat this? And like tosses him a piece of it.
Wow.
But yeah. So that being said, I did like the movie. It, you know exactly what you're in for. It's watching a bunch of monsters just beat the shit out of each other. There's like big city destroying brawls. Well, really, we only get that at the end of the movie, which is the main reason I will say I liked Godzilla versus Kong better.
That's the last movie.
Yes.
Or what was the last movie?
The last movie was Godzilla versus Kong, yes. Unless we're counting Godzilla -1, which is
that is coming streaming very soon. I'm anxious to see that for sure.
So I guess if we're comparing those, Godzilla -1 was definitely better. It had a lot more pathos for the humans, and
right.
It's probably the best example of like the quote unquote classic Godzilla formula, where Godzilla is like the obstacle to overcome rather than just, the guy we're rooting
Yeah.
for.
That's cool.
But the last one had better fights, I guess, is the
Yeah.
main reason I liked it better. And honestly, that's the only reason to go see these movies is because you want to see the big, cool fights.
Yeah, you want to see monkeys fighting lizards. You want to see monsters fighting each other. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
So
You didn't go
that is
Ghostbusters?
another downside, I guess, here, though, is that the Scar King is. Who the fuck cares about him, right? The last one had Mecha Godzilla. So that was like, oh shit, it's Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Here it's like,
I don't
oh,
know.
it's male
It's
pattern
Lanky
baldness
Kong.
orangutan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the Donkey Kongs.
Oh,
You didn't go see Ghostbusters?
no, I didn't see the last one. And honestly, I'm fine waiting on that one. I'm not the biggest
Yeah.
Ghostbusters guy.
See, I don't think anything comes out for a week or so, man. You probably got time.
I'm gonna go see Monkey Man next week, probably.
Oh, I heard that was
That's rad as hell.
especially
Oh,
fun. I heard
one
that
last
movie
thing I
was
will say
really
about
cool.
Godzilla Kong, though, is that it actually was a pretty appropriate Easter movie. I went to go see it earlier today because it does feature the resurrection of Mothra.
Oh, dope! Is that like a post-credit thing?
No, it happens towards the finale of the movie. Mothra helps out Godzilla and Kong in the big final battle.
Rad. Bring them back. Keep doing it. What about
And
you, Andy?
Mothra's
Anything?
cool. So.
Oh, that's cool. What about you, Andy? Anything worth mentioning
Let's
you
see
did this
here. I
week?
worked a bunch of overtime, caught up with the X-Men '97.
Nice. It's so good.
We're short. Yeah, I caught up
So
with
good.
that. And then let's see here. What did I watch? I was just watching a bunch of old movies because I need to finish a series.
Oh my God! Cheap horror movies for the win.
Yeah, Jeep horror movies. Yeah.
For the win. All right, cool, y'all. Well, let's do news. It's like WonderCon. WonderCon was this weekend. That's like the opening salvo for the con season. So it's happening. It's happening. But we got more X-Men reveals. Let's start with Jed McKay first. Okay, we've said really fun, great things about Jed McKay, but we've also said kind of things that aren't so great. He's good. He's just not great. But it occurred to me that he is writing Avengers, and he's soon to be writing X-Men for the From the Ashes era. He is the first writer to lead both the primary Avengers book and an X-Men title since Roy Thomas did in the 60s. Now, in the 60s, everybody hated the fucking X-Men. The X-Men were not popular at all.
Well, yeah, they didn't really catch on until Claremont's run, I think.
Yeah. But that's just interesting to me, that, wow. And he's writing the big upcoming event. I mean, if there was ever a quote unquote head writer at Marvel, I mean, it's hard to argue that Jed McKay is not that guy right now.
I mean, I can see what you're saying, but this just doesn't feel the same as when Hickman was the head writer, when Bendis was the head writer, even when Jason Aaron was the guy writing all the events and everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, no, Jed McKay is also writing that. Is he writing the Blood Hunt book?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, the big event book.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
he's writing
that. Based off of the body of work right now, yeah, I guess you do kind of have to conclude that, but I don't know. It just doesn't.
It doesn't feel
that
right,
way.
dude. It doesn't feel that way. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
If he's doing the whole entire Blood Hunt event and writing all the books for that,
well, he's not writing all of them, but he's writing
he's not
at least
he's
three
not
of
writing
them.
Well, he's writing the event, and he's also writing 2 flagship titles.
Yeah,
X-Men
if he's going to pick up
Avengers.
X-Men and he's currently working on Avengers right now, I mean, Marvel must believe in him.
Exactly. I just
hasn't he also been writing all those timeless books the last few years?
Yeah, he did write several of the timeless books. Yeah.
I mean, and since Roy back in the '60s, this is the first time this is happening.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now
I'm still trying to wrap my head around. There's not been a single writer in Marvel since that to do both the big team X-Men and Avengers.
Exactly.
That's
although as Gummer was pointing out, arguably X-Men wasn't one of the quote unquote big teams back then.
Yes.
It might have really been Avengers and Fantastic Four back then.
Well, yeah, X-Men didn't really pop off until the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. So I was about to say Claremont again. Stegman revealed some artwork. Okay, this is the Alaska team's headquarters. This is supposed to debut in this week's issue of Avengers. It is an old Sentinel factory shut down after the defeat of Orcus.
Okay.
Interesting. And then he released these panels. Man, these look great, Ryan Stegman. Holy shit, these look amazing.
Yeah.
And then we get a bunch of character designs that I meshed together. Very cool. I love Magneto's look there.
Is that
I love
Magneto with a beard there down in the corner?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Magneto. Yeah. It looks great. I love Juggernaut with the pouches. Please keep the pouches. Where else is he
Digging
going to
the
keep his
Juggernaut look.
cigarettes? Yeah. So then we get, a little bit of panel work, just Stegman. His Cyclops, he does draw him a little bit young, I think.
Yeah, I actually was wondering if that was like teen Cyclops.
It's not. Nope. This is supposed to be regular old, Cyclops.
This
He's
is
Yeah,
supposed to be
drawing
child.
him.
I'm like reasonably sure that they're done doing all the Teen X-Men shit at this point anyway. So
Yeah, that's kind of.
Are they playing rock paper scissors on that panel?
I mean, maybe.
Or they might just be doing like the fist of emphasis, right? They're like,
Yeah.
that's it, like at the
Wop.
same time.
Yeah.
don't
WAP.
know.
Come on. They've ruined WAP. Stop using WAP. You can't use the onomatopoeia WAP anymore. Okay. It doesn't work.
Man, shut the fuck up, Gomer.
It doesn't
you
mean the
fucking
same
idiot.
anymore. But Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men run will consist of 18 issues in the first year.
Okay, so are they
Okay.
doing like twice monthly then, starting sometime
After the first debut issues come out, which will take 3 months. At that point, Uncanny will be up to issue 4. And then from 4, then from that point on, it will release 2, maybe 3 issues a month, which is mind-blowing, mind-boggling. So expect multiple artists to be announced, which is kind of a bummer, but that always happens. No matter what book
Yeah,
you're on,
That's a
you're
lot
gonna
of
get
books.
you're gonna get a fill-in artist, which sucks. But more X-Men news as we get it because I fucking love the X-Men, and I'm happy that we're getting a new thing. All right, moving on. DC Zatanna is getting a Black Label book. It's going to be written by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodriguez. They haven't done a Black Label book with Zatanna yet. It seems like that's a really great idea.
Yeah, I mean that could be fun. I mean, Zatanna typically isn't like in the grittier scenes like a lot of the other Black people are. But then again, she has been on the Justice League Dark team for a few years now, so
Yeah.
they've definitely dabbled with some pretty fucked up stuff with her. So
Yeah. So she is the greatest entertainer in the worst hotel and casino on the Las Vegas Strip. So the richier hotels would love to have her as a headliner, but since devastating instance of magic gone wrong changed the course of her childhood, Zatanna would much rather rock her trademark top hat and fishnets as a sleight of hand stage act than bother with real magic. But she's going to take herself really seriously when interdimensional vortex cracks open and releases a demon. Blah, blah, blah. That old chestnut. Loving the art here. Perfect for this character.
That was really great artwork.
Oh, man, that is fucking great. And we got a couple of more here. I like how the flashbacks kind of, have a different sort of coloring to them.
John's house.
Yeah. Javier Rodriguez is perfect for this book. I'm really excited about it. Covers by Jorge Jimenez, Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Art Germ, of course, and Michael Janin. That hits March. Pre-order is March 15th, so it comes out June 25th. Looks cool, man.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
We're also getting Joker: The World. Now, this is kind of interesting. It's a hardcover anthology out this September. Joker takes his unique brand of madness and mayhem on a world tour, 184-page hardcover. So every time he visits a different country, it'll be like a different pairing of creators who have roots in that country.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nice.
That gives it a bit more of gives it a bit more teeth than your normal anthology book would have, I suppose.
Yeah. There's a little bit more to this. We get Jeff Johns, Satoshi Miyogawa, David Rubin, Germán Peralta, Alvaro Fong Varela, Jason Fabach, who I think is Brazilian, with stories tailored to authentic style, tone, and cultural sensibilities of the different nations around the world. Another cool part about this, and this is some news that we had years ago now, how DC wants to do like their worldwide, releases, and this will drop September 17th, same day around the world. Spain, Germany, Italy, Brazil, Mexico, Czech Republic, Turkey, Japan, Korea, Cameroon, Poland, Argentina, which I think is fucking cool. I just think that's really neat how DC is sort of leaning into telling more diverse stories while also making them poignant for a global audience, because really that's where they should be leaning. Everything is moving to the movies, to the TV shows, and that's your global audience. Why shouldn't the comics do the same thing? Why not?
You just can't concentrate here in the U.S. for everybody. There's more people out there.
Yeah, and I think they're leaning into that. So, all right, last bit of news. I told you, slow news week. We're going to talk about Jason Aaron coming off of and still going with Action Comics and Batman Offworld. Talking about Jed McKay earlier, but this dude was writing Superman and Batman at the same time.
That's a high honor. This is the highest.
I mean, it really is, dude. It really is. But he is also doing over at Boom Studios, arguably one of the biggest new franchises of the last 10 years, Keanu Reeves' Berserker, who is basically Wolverine, who, it's the Immortal Man story. It's been told 1,000 times. But this is him in the Wild West. And if Jason Aaron can write anything, it's the Wild West. Read Scout.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Holy shit, Read Scout.
I mean, hell, I remember there was some rando fucking character who he introduced in Wolverine and the X-Men. It was like this time displaced cowboy with like a metal Doctor Doom looking mask. And that character was fun as hell. That dude was such it was such a throwaway character, but like I still remember that character like all these years later talking about how he like headbutted to death 20 U.S. Marshals going across Texas or like
yeah. So this is great. I don't see who. Oh, he's doing this with Francesco Mana, who is doing the Predator Last Hunt. So in the 1800s, it's called A Face Full of Bullets. Pretty fun. Aaron is also doing the Uncle Scrooge one shot over at Marvel Comics. It's going to be a bunch of artists on this one. And I love these covers here because, sure, we get all of the classic Disney versions, DuckTales versions of this character. But, I mean, Charles Dickens is the reason we have Uncle Scrooge, okay? And they show that off here, that cover in the top right, him freezing out there, in the cold.
At least the reason he's named that,
Right. Well, I mean, that's where he came from, was the Disney's, Mickey Mouse is a Christmas Carol.
I'm reasonably certain that's not true.
Really? He was out before that?
So
there was a comic adaptation.
There was
Karl Barks wrote it. Yeah.
There's a comic book, Uncle Scrooge, that predates that cartoon by like decades.
Wow. See, you learn something new every day on this show.
You sound like a real fucking idiot right now, Gomer.
Usually it's just the hosts. Paolo Matura, Francesco Diapolita, Vitala Mangiatorti, and more are going to work on that. That's out on June 19th. And now that's not to mention the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover that we've covered extensively here. Still waiting on that. I mean, it's not really a crossover. It's more like a relaunch.
Yeah.
And he's going to kill this. This is going to be one of the biggest selling comics of the year.
Like I said during the pre-show, Jason Aaron is living his best life and killing at it.
Yeah. We're not even going to mention the return of EC Entertaining Comics.
But you did just mention it.
Oni Press is bringing back. Yeah, Oni Press is bringing back.
We're not going to mention this thing, but we're totally mentioning it.
Yeah, they're bringing back this legendary comics line, and Jason Aaron is getting in on that.
This was like the poster child for the scare that was going on in the 1950s with comics.
Yeah. It died when the Comics Code came out. It came back because people started to rebel against the Comics Code.
I mean, this is maybe the reason the Comics Code even existed in the first place. That
exactly,
this gay innuendo and Batman.
Right.
So if I remember that whole entire hearing, it was basically stuff like this. Tales from the Abyss, and
they specifically mentioned one of the covers of an EC comic where like the woman's severed head, but like you couldn't see like the bloody stump of her neck, and that actually was a back and forth they had during the hearing. It was like, don't you think this is inappropriate? I think it would only be inappropriate if we showed the bloody stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
weird, dude. So weird.
I saw that cover like homage sometime recently. I can't remember where from.
No, there's probably a Marvel doing all that weird head shit.
It wasn't
And-
that.
And
It
it's
wa-
not that the comic book code is bad. It's just
No, I
No,
mean,
it was bad. Censorship is bad.
yeah, but censorship is wrong. But still, it's
having
just-
a rating on the comic book, I don't think is a bad thing. Like,
I don't think that's censorship, though.
I never said censorship, but
Well, that's what I said. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said I don't like
Yeah,
censorship.
it's
Censorship is bad. But yes, I agree.
borderline-
Having a rating is definitely a good idea.
it's
for sure.
borderline censorship, but it's more of along the lines of like, hey,
I
you
mean,
need to have something on your comic book to say, hey, what this is meant for.
for a
Yes,
while it
agreed.
was de facto censorship because they wouldn't release anything that didn't
Yeah.
meet like the moral
comic code,
panic
the code.
standards. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big deal when Stan Lee wrote an issue of Spider-Man in the 70s that referenced drug use. And it was the first one to be released without a comics code seal of approval on it.
Yeah.
And
You say that
yeah.
DC literally did something very similar in Green Arrow, Green Lantern. After that, just to follow up the trend, that book's way more well known than the Spider-Man one. But Spider-Man did do it first. Stan Lee and Spider-Man did do it first.
Wasn't the Green Lantern, Green Arrow one about
Speedy.
crack?
what have you done
Yeah,
for the
Such
Speedy.
a
blacks?
weird
Oh,
name.
that
Which
one.
is
Okay,
such a
okay.
weird name looking
I was
back.
actually wondering if it was the one where like an old black man like accuses Green Lantern of not doing shit for doing shit about racism.
I mean, I think
It probably was the
The
drug
drug
thing.
use
I'm
one.
pretty sure it was.
No, I think
yeah.
Speedy was doing drugs.
Yeah,
Speedy
I know
definitely
Speedy
was
was
doing
doing drugs
drugs.
in
That's one of the most famous covers of all time. Like, my ward is a drunkie. Sorry, my
so
ward is a
fucking
junkie.
funny, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, drugs are not funny, kids. Okay, but looking back at the time, and
I mean, all these comics
Yeah.
were decidedly anti-drug.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yes, drugs are bad, but I mean the way they framed drugs in such a way back then was just like
yeah.
it's like this ultimate like uber bad guy that nobody can beat. And it's like, yeah, you can beat it. Just talk about it and just make sure that
Don't do
everybody knows
drugs.
that they're bad.
But I
They're not
think
good
that's
for
the
you.
main takeaway from the comics code is kind of like censorship inevitably leads to its own worst villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
that's
it
why we
does
have-
every time throughout history. Oh, it's
That's
censored,
why we
but
have
you're
Marvel
censoring
Knights
this.
for. We have Black
Thank you.
Label. We
With
have
those issues and everything else that's come out since then, like it's now what it probably should have been all along, just like an indication of what's going on
Yes.
inside of the book, right?
Information.
Like, yeah, I
Yeah,
shouldn't be
information.
giving a kid like an issue of like
Cross.
From Hell or Crossed
yeah,
or
From Hell.
something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, I think a kid might be able to handle From Hell, depending on the age.
Maybe, depends,
Maybe
yeah.
12
Depending on
and
the
above.
It's not
issue.
particularly gory, but it's very dark.
It's very dark. Very
Yeah.
dark. But then there's shit like Cross that is just
Crossed is like
torture porn.
no,
absolutely like
Yes.
Crossed is like the most fucked up shit. Like it's just
Yeah.
it
you
is
might as well
just
just hand them an issue of Berserk at that point. Like, here you go, have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
So-
first
so,
issue.
yeah, like
Enjoy.
I think that it exists in a relatively benign fashion today, where it is just like, yo, this one's okay for kids, this one's not.
Mhm.
But you're right that
Yeah.
like back in the day when it was like de facto limiting what you could put into a comic book, I'm glad it's not that anymore.
Yeah, me too.
We can't be doing that anymore.
All right, let's do food. It's normal food. I can't find it. There it is.
Yummy.
Normal week of food news. We'll start with the bad one. Okay, BJ's
Ew.
is
Oh,
a
gross.
restaurant, I guess, and
Is
they
that
have
like the
a.
hot chicken place, or
It just says BJ's. I've never heard of a
Yeah.
BJ's.
there is a
this
BJ's hot chicken. There's a few of those around town here, but
Well, this is a Pizzicle Pizzuki. They have a cookie with a couple of scoops of ice cream on it, a hot cookie,
so
The
far
ice
so
cream
good.
milk. and then
Then you pour pickles on it.
Then
they
you
put
ruin it.
pickles on
Yeah.
it.
Fucking ruin it, yeah.
Only one day available, obviously, April 1st. In a movie that's
Oh, of
anything
course,
but
it's the April
ordinary.
Fool's thing.
Disgusting.
I
They say
mean,
this is not a joke. They are doing this. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah,
I was about to
it's
say, if
terrible.
you're doing it as a gag for April 1st, I guess that's fine. But they're insisting that it's not a joke. That's
Yeah, they're leaning way
It's-
too far into the joke, saying it's not a joke. Just take your kid to
Oh.
BJ's and order him one of these.
It's
For
a
him.
joke if you
I mean,
order
if you hate
it.
your kids, yeah.
If you
go
hate
ahead
your
and get
kid,
them
well,
one.
who doesn't?
Yeah.
You guys don't. Well, Andy has kids. He loves his kids. Maybe that's just me.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
you're a terrible person.
I am a terrible person. But yes, the Pizzicle Pizzuki. It's free with a minimum purchase of $15.
I don't even
So
understand the name.
Well,
They
okay.
have a thing called a pizookie, which is like a cookie with
I get
ice
the
cream
cookie
on it.
part. Where's the piz?
I don't even want to ask that question.
I don't know.
Um,
This is so confusing.
It's so confusing, but this is terrible. Don't put pickles on ice cream, y'all. Unless
No.
you're pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the stereotype, like disgusting thing that people have cravings for when they're pregnant. I don't even know how many women actually
Mm-mm.
have had that specific craving, but that's the one you've seen in like
It seems
old
misogynistic to
movies
me
and
at this
stuff.
point. You know?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It does. It really does.
I imagine what it actually was like some like person was like trying to throw together a disgusting combination to be like, oh, those pregnancy
Some
cravings,
man.
right?
Yeah, some
it
man
probably
who's
was
never
some
had a
dude.
pregnant wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
my wife wanted to eat? Steak. All 3 of the kids. I'm getting a
So
steak.
Perfectly reasonable.
for the
4 or
first one, it
5
was
a week, dude. It was nuts.
Man,
So
have you ever
for-
watched like old TV shows or old movies? Like it is like wild the sort of shit that would never fly today. Like I was
Dude.
exactly.
I was seeing some like old episodes like Bewitched, which I remember seeing when I was a kid, but I was watching them
Yeah.
like more recently. My God, like it is such a
Dude.
like
Oh,
it's
they're
very
bad.
just like very like low key
you're right.
misogynist at all times. You know,
Dude.
there's
do you
episodes
wanna
where
be-
she was
Oh.
pregnant, and it's like he's like, "Oh, don't spoil your wife, then she won't get up and cook and clean for you when she's not pregnant anymore."
Oh my god.
Paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what they said.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to be blown
They
away?
get bad.
Watch episodes of The Price is Right from the 60s and 70s.
I've seen a few. Like
Holy shit. Bob Barker was a
Oh, the
huge
old school
sexist
Bob
racist. He was
Barker.
so racist. It will ruin Bob Barker for you.
I'm thinking also of like old like episodes of Family Feud where like what's his name,
Richard
Parker,
Dawson
whatever.
would
Yeah, that's him.
Richard
He'd fucking
Dawson.
kiss
Kiss
every
every-
damn woman.
He'd kiss, tongue kiss. It was, and he'd be like, at
What
the
a
end.
creep!
What a creep. What a creepo. Oh my gosh. All right.
So that was
Second
gross.
news.
Let's do the good one.
Yeah, blue milk. All right,
Blue
it's
milk,
vanilla
okay.
flavored.
Oh,
It's dyed with
There you
blue. Luke hated it on the farm. He never had blue milk again. Fuck you. That's the one thing he missed. I bet he's like, man, I wish I'd go back to Tatooine. Get me a cup of that blue milk. April 17th, you can start getting it. Keep your eyes out.
You
It's
know,
just one of those
done-
things where like I'm surprised this has never been done before.
Right? I mean,
and it's done by a reputable milk company in True
I mean, yeah,
so
this seems
Yeah.
completely harmless. It's fun. This is
Yeah.
this is what like stupid food promotion should be.
exactly.
exactly.
Now I would worry that this will probably make like your poop blue or something
Yes,
like that.
I have that in my notes, man. Dude,
Yeah.
Taylor, we are just right there. It's in sync.
Well, I
But-
know from
it's just-
experience that like the green chocolate syrup that they would do for like the Eric Bana Hulk movie back in the day, that did turn your leavings green. So I imagine
Yeah.
this is probably similar to that.
And it's just
I
plain
took
old vanilla
hog
flavor
shit,
of
I
food,
shot-
blue food coloring in it, huh?
It is with blue food coloring, yes. And
Yeah.
again, you mentioned the company True Moo. Yes, that is Dairy Farmers of America Co-op.
Yes.
Basically a dairy farmers union. So yeah, it's union
Yeah.
proud. It's like buying
I-
steel with the
if-
3 circles on it.
If
man.
we could afford it, I'd be buying milk from them all the time.
Yeah. Oh, it's expensive fucking milk.
But it's worth it because it's good
worth
milk.
it. It's worth
It's
it.
good milk.
So
So-
yeah, that'll be on shelves beginning April 17th at market price. There you go. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I wish they were all like that because
I do
that's,
too.
You know,
I do too. But we have
that's
pickles and
actually
cookies.
fun and not disgusting. But
Yeah.
We can forget about the pickles on ice cream.
Let's
We had a good one.
not if you keep mentioning it.
let's do Duke. Yes. All right. This book continues to be just an action-packed fun fair. Joshua Williams, Jordy Belair, and Tom Riley. Duke and Clutch are imprisoned by Stalker and Rock and Roll, which sounds weird, but they were. Hawk told them to do it. So then Major Blood attacks on the order of Destro. Baroness is also in there with Duke and them. So they are in a prison called the Pit. As everyone tries to escape, we are reminded that they are in the Pit, and they bust out with these old school, weapons of war, very familiar looking.
Oh
tanks.
yeah, I mean this is like the montage you would see on an old cartoon. Like let's roll out the vehicles, guys. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck they said, but something like that.
Yeah, dude. So they do escape. They get away from Major Blood and his lackeys.
I
I
think
don't
it's kind of
see.
fun the idea that like they use a plane on the ground to just run over people. You know?
Dude, in the old G.I. Joe cartoons, they used to not fire the missiles on the jet. They used to use the wings of the jet to cut like trucks in half and shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
just fire the missiles. You've got missiles.
I mean,
You know how
that of
expensive
course is
missiles
enough.
are
Hey,
when the government doesn't
we were already on
actually-
our we were already on our censorship kick, right? I mean, GI Joe is one of the most
Right.
famous examples of like, no, they're not allowed to shoot people. Well, they
Yeah.
were at first, but then like they like stamped that out hard, like
yeah,
right
you
after
can't
the
kill
show started.
anybody. You can't kill
Yeah.
nobody.
why do you think everything was lasers and like
Yeah.
hit somebody? It's like,
Well, no,
oh, you're
that's
fine.
exactly why. Yeah.
Yeah. And
You'll shake
Community,
that off.
there's like an episode of Community where like it's all animated in the GI Joe style. Like Jeff's having a like depression breakdown, but
Yeah.
in his thing he ends up killing Destro. And what happens is GI Joe and Cobra team up, and it's GI Cobra or GI Jobra. What the fuck ever? It's so stupid. We do get a scrap iron. I love scrap iron. GI Joe Classified sells this figure with his little missile thing that
Hell
with the
yeah.
treads. It's fucking dope. I love to play with that. But Duke is able to evade those missiles somehow, some way. He punches out.
'Cause he's
Duke's just
Duke.
a badass. That's what
mean,
this comic is all about. How
Yes.
badass Duke is.
I mean, that the only reason I'm getting this book in the first place was because of how badass he was in Transformers, you know,
Mhm.
fucking shooting Starscream right in the fucking eye and everything.
Love that. Love that. But at the end, Duke does meet his match. Even a badass can't take on a bat. Okay, you need something. You know what a bat is, Taylor?
I don't know this one, no.
This is a battle android trooper. All right, these were
Oh,
made
okay,
famous
okay. I think I've heard of that.
in the cartoon. Very fun, mechanic, if you could say, in the comic, because they could actually kill them.
Oh
You
yeah,
could kill
like,
the robots
that's like the go-to way to
get
somebody
around.
past the censor. I mean, that's what Samurai Jack was, right? Like
Yes.
he only ever fought robots because he wasn't allowed to just
Yeah,
slice
that's
up
why
like
that's
organic
why the
things.
Foot Clan was robots for the longest time.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Do
That's
whatever
why
the
the
fuck you
hands
want to
always came
robots.
back. They didn't really die.
Yeah.
But this is really compelling. This last scene with the bat, because of course they're powering these bats using Energon, Cybertronian technology, and that's where everything is leaning into. And yes, it's a slow burn in the overall Energon universe, but Duke has been really, really fun. The Easter eggs, and pardon the pun, because what day it is, but
No, don't pardon the pun.
it was
Keep the pun there.
awesome seeing Scrap Iron and seeing the bat, seeing those vehicles, rushing out. That's really why I'm enjoying this book, because it feels like G.I. Joe to me, and I've been a fan forever. But I'm really happy that Taylor's also enjoying it as a fan of just action comics. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
has been a good run.
yeah, I think so too. One more issue to go for Duke. Very excited to see where everything goes. Cool. We didn't talk about Coco. We'll talk about Coco number 6 when it comes out, I promise. All right, let's do top 3. Fun weekend. Pretty fun.
I have a suspicion about what the number 1 is going to be for most people.
Oh man, mine's an Image comic, man, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. All right, so Rise was pretty good this week. That's my honorable mention. I knew they weren't gonna do it. I didn't know how they were gonna do it, but
They
what's his
tiptoed
name
around
becomes
that.
Mr.
Though.
Sinister was not in the cards, but man, RB Silva's art in this is fucking amazing.
Oh
They
yeah, I mean this book is absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
They tiptoed around the fact that Charles was going to do it. He was like right there. He was going to pull the trigger, but he didn't at the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
what's
I
his
mean,
name?
in the
Being
end,
all
he didn't do it,
sinister, he
yeah.
was crazy. And then what's their plan here? What's their plan to get the Phoenix? And why, Charles? Why? Why?
I don't know. I mean, the Phoenix shows up when you're dying. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Oh, maybe he's like, you got it.
Yeah,
Bring
and
it on.
there's
That's how Jean originally got it. Was she was like in the throes of death and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't see where this one is going currently right
Me
now.
neither.
Because I mean, it makes absolutely no sense for Charles to like kill anybody, And B, he actually does like shoots laser and like, yeah, I'm gonna take you out, and instead the person I came back here to actually do it for.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of it, the misdirect. You think he's going to go kill Moira, and it's like, yeah, if you do that, it'll solve everything. He can't bring himself to do it, but then he could kill Rachel.
Yeah,
I'm
I
anxious
mean,
to see where they go with it.
I think I'm right
I'm
that
waiting.
he's like
I am waiting
he's-
to see where it goes.
he's kind of forcing the Phoenix out because that's usually how the Phoenix shows up.
That's good thinking. That's good thinking.
But yeah.
X-Men 90.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Well,
Yeah, bring Phoenix back so Phoenix can resurrect everybody.
That's actually
but yeah,
really
this is
smart.
an honorable mention for me as well, and I think this is definitely the best of these issues of Rise of the Powers of X here, just because this is the one that was most on point. You know, this is the one where they were focusing the most on the story they're actually trying to tell. We weren't zipping around to too many places.
This is more about the fall of Krakoa than anything else.
Yeah. And it also was a good culmination of a lot of shit because, like, you know, they're in this trouble for the first place because, like, well, no, we owe Sinister, like, you know, oh, well, we want to, like, we owe Apocalypse.
You owe Sinister nothing.
So well, yeah, that's, and like, we do actually see kind of Charles finally learn that lesson here, you know?
Right.
Like, she even says to him, like, he's like, no, we need him. And then she's like, oh, like you fucking needed him back on the damn Quiet Council. It's like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles was like the best worst ever.
That was a good throwback. Yeah, the Quiet
his
Council.
MO.
That was a good throwback in this issue, but still, it's just like, I don't understand it. I mean, it was like, I want to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And X-Men 97, #1, with all the hubbub of the show. This is a great bridge between what happened in 1997 with the show in the 90s and what we're doing now. The only thing I could talk shit on is there's only like 10 X-Men in here. They said there were going to be 97 of them. Anyway, Spider-Man #3 is my #3 this week.
That's my #1.
That's my #1.
Nice. Hickman Chichetto, fun issue. Bullseye is weird, but like cool weird. Why is he throwing cards? Was that always a thing with Bullseye?
Bullseye throws cards.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Cool. It's also very odd that Harry and Peter hit it off so well so soon in like a reverse sort of way. Like they were friends who become enemies, and now they're sort of enemies who are going to become friends.
They're never explicitly enemies, but yeah, like, I mean, that's part of the charm here, right? Is that they are constantly like writing this book knowing that you know the story and putting fun twists on it, you know, like this is how Harry met Peter, you know, in this version of events.
When Harry met Peter. That's awesome.
I'm Harry. I'm Peter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Peace.
In the fun little meeting, I also love like Peter being so bad at playing it cool whenever he's talking about Spider-Man with people, you know?
Oh, with him and
talking to Ben and Jonah. Yeah. About how,
my god! So that conversation between
he's much
Jonah,
more charming, real man of the people vibes. I'm getting from you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that conversation between Ben, Jonah, and Peter in this issue was so just like
it's awkward. You could feel the awkwardness.
I'm not Spider-Man. I'm definitely not Spider-Man. I'm definitely not Spider-Man. I'm definitely. You can see him like.
Yes, exactly.
But I love Jonah and Ben in this. Like their B plot that they're having here. I'm really invested in it at this point. And you know, like Bullseye is kind of disposable here, but it's someone you fucking know who it is. You recognize that like this guy's a threat. Whatever. They need to deal with it, and they do. You know, and it also is further seeding like. You know, building up the Illuminati that they're going to have to go fight because he's like, what? No, I don't work for Kingpin. I'm way above that motherfucking.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Hickman sowing these seeds that he knows you already know what's going to grow, but you just can't wait to see, you know, which direction it's going to grow. You know what I mean?
And even like we saw it in the preview, but like, building up to the suit here. Like, I love how they show they show Black Suit and then they show like Ben Reilly and they show the Iron Spider, and just then finally we get
like the first FF suit,
yes, and then we finally get the classic red and blue. But his dynamic with his family continues to be charming as hell. Like, again in the preview, but like the whole thing where it's like they're refusing to make eye contact. I read a book about that, and like Peter's like, "Oh well, I think you're just deflecting. I read a book about that," and she's like, "What? Like, what are you guys up to?" Nothing. And if by nothing means just having some quality daddy-daughter time, then we're up to a whole lot of
making a super suit.
Yeah,
but it does feel like pure. It feels like organic.
It feels pure.
This is how
charming.
A dad would hang out with their kids.
He feels like a great dad, and I love that. If you're gonna have like this be the twist on the old song, you know, where like this is Peter who's a family man. This is Peter who's like a dad. It was very important that they nail it when they show him interacting with his family, and I feel like they really have.
Yeah.
And
It's
Hickman
just
does a
gonna
really great job
Yeah.
with that family dynamic in this.
Yeah.
He's been family first oriented in this whole
Yeah.
entire series so far.
I mean, we've said it before, but this is what the whole point of the Ultimate Universe is supposed to be. Like, have Peter in a situation he never could have been in the main 616. I mean, hell, it's kind of the opposite tack they took with the original Ultimate Spider-Man run, because then it was just like, let's go back to classic high school Peter and just have like different versions of the same events
in the 2000s. Yeah, have it be in the 2000s, and that doesn't make any sense.
And you know, as much as I have a lot of respect for that old Bendis and Bagley run, but this is, I think, the better way to do it. Like, you know, we're never getting Family Man Peter in 616.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, hell, they can't even keep him married, let alone having two kids.
Yeah, for 6 months. They couldn't keep it married for 6 fucking months.
Well, they kept him married for a damn long while until One More Day. But they, you know, they can never have kids. He can certainly never have 2 kids.
Yeah,
but
exactly. And you know one of them's going to die or get hurt really bad. You know they're leading. They're building us up.
I don't think so.
Something happening with his family.
I don't think that's what they're going to do.
I hope you're right, but
I don't think like if they're eventually just turning this into misery porn yet again, then that is going to be such a crushing disappointment.
You're 100% right.
I don't see anything like really like. I mean, the family dynamic is great, but the only thing
like this has legs. You could keep this going for a damn long while, and that does mean like keeping the family. You know,
exactly. I mean, there's still kind of that little tiny window open of Ben being disapproving when he finds out, but that's still kind of there, but I don't see that anymore.
I think that B plot that Taylor mentioned earlier is going to be like, because we've already, pushed on that where J. Jonah Jameson isn't really like a terrible guy. Yeah. I think it's going to be Ben who is like, no, Spider-Man is a menace. And that's where the drama and the struggle is going to come.
I could see Hickman doing it, and I'm not sure if he will, but I could see that, like, the whole, we all know the line, with great power comes great responsibility. If Uncle Ben ever does find out that Peter is this new Ultimate Spider-Man, it's like he uses that line in such a damning way instead of such a positive way.
Oh, dude, holy shit, you're writing the book for Hickman. Hickman, I got to go edit. Marco, stop. I got to change this scene.
I mean, I could see him doing it. I mean, there's a little window gap in there for him to, like, he opened the window a little bit. It's there, but it's not like it hasn't been fleshed out yet. So
window for what exactly?
Like if Ben were to say, Peter, you're Spider-Man, don't you know that with great power comes great responsibility? Like using the line in a damning sort of way.
Yeah, because he's a dad.
I want Mayday to say it to him.
Oh, dude, that's cool too. That's cool too.
Yeah, I mean, any
he
way
wants
he
to
does
give
it
up,
is like,
and she's like, no, Dad, yes. Oh, that's awesome.
And she probably wouldn't say it like that, but like, Dad, you can do things to help people. Don't you think you should? Or something like that.
Or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, he's got the window open. We'll see where it goes, though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Taylor, honorable mentions. And number 3.
Okay, honorable mention for Duke. We already talked about that, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Honorable mention for Rise of the Powers of X. I think definitely the strongest issue of that so far.
Yeah.
Honorable mention for Green Arrow. It's just, this continues to be like a kind of an under the radar fun book,
It's really leaning into the next event, the Absolute Power event, way more than any other books are right now.
Yeah. This is honestly like the best book to be reading if you want to keep like up to date on all the shit that's going on in DC.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
I had a lot of fun with this. There were so many fucking archers in this issue.
Yes, and that I will say that like they deal with the little thing where it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a fight. Not really, JK, but then like they're just saying that like, sorry, Ollie, but Roy told us to fight anyone who came here. Yeah. Now we immediately stopped fighting, so there was absolutely no point in us doing it. But
right.
But
yeah, very cool.
Whatever, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But my number 3 this week is going to be Gods, number 6.
Okay, got it.
I fucking love these like walk through the weird places of a universe, type of books, and that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
This one has our science agent, Aiko, going through the mystical realms of the Marvel universe and like having to bargain and like make choices all the way through. I really love the depiction of the living tribunal at the end, right?
Yes,
Where
it was
like
rad, dude.
he's
The
like
Living Tribunal is such man. Don't
right,
ever want to see them.
we've seen him before, but like in this instance, like I feel like I love the way he was depicted, right? And like just also the like his judgment was like really chilling, where it's like, oh, what, you think justice in this case is me undoing your mistake for you for free? Fuck you.
Yeah,
You got to
no,
live with it.
no.
Oh, and then like Oblivion is like, oh, I think I'll make it. I'll do something. It's like, wait, I wasn't talking to you. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing it
Yeah,
anyway.
You don't want Oblivion to do anything.
Yeah, like so yeah, she made things worse. And I fucking love the Lion of Wolves here. Like
it's so
her guy.
weird. Such a weird character.
He is. He's like disarming, and he's like, you can tell that he's like this slimy, like rogue, but like he straight up tells her, like, oh, that's a bad idea. And then like he himself, he told her exactly what he was going to do. And then at the end of the issue, it's still such a gut punch moment when he's like, oh, hey, so yeah,
I did the thing.
yeah, like, well, earlier it's like, you know, hey, wait, you might want to think about this. You don't know what the other choices are going to be. Like, she refuses to give up her left eye, and then she said takes the choice that she can only tell the truth for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the end of the issue, oh, wait, no, you got to pay. I was your guide. You got to pay the price. It's like, give me both of your eyes, or you can do nothing but lie for 24 hours. And she can't choose the lie option at that point. Just, that was such a blood-curdling moment. Like, I loved that character. He was such a fucking magnificent bastard. You know?
Every once in a while, Hickman writes a new character that he just needs to use for whatever story he's writing. Black Swan is a good example.
This is a character that I do not think should or really will show up too often.
Yeah.
In the ongoing future of all of Marvel here, but in this issue, he is great.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Cool. Good choice. Gods is still way over my head, man. I'm enjoying it, but it's like I don't really know what's going on. But anyway, I'll catch up again. I'll have to reread them all in order. Andy, honorable mentions, and
my honorable mention is we've already talked about Rise of Power. We already talked about Duke. So I'd like to talk about, for my honorable mention, is Batman: The Dark Age. I really like that one.
This was okay. The art in it was great for me. I had a problem with Batman not going to the movies. Why was Bruce not at the movies?
I don't know. I mean, I liked it.
Oh, was he not at Crime Alley when they got killed?
He was not, and he becomes like a juvenile delinquent.
I'm assuming they got killed anyway.
They did.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But he becomes a juvenile delinquent. Yeah,
they're still dead.
Yeah, not bad, but
if they're just doing like a different take on the old classic or whatever, that's fine.
They are.
Whatever.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, and it's interesting to see it this way. That's why I think I liked it a little bit better. It's interesting to see what if Bruce wasn't actually there.
Yeah, but it's not just that. There's a lot of other things going on that Russell is like slowly bringing into things or into the story. But this was a little bit too slow for me for the first issue. But I can see it building. Like he already met Selena. In kind of a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where his sister meets, what's his name? But it was good. I don't know, man. It was just missing something for me that maybe Russell, catch me on the next issue. But
man, children's lamps were scary as shit back in the 50s.
Right.
Yeah, they were.
There's so many Easter eggs in this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like the Batmobile.
You got Penguin up here in the Gotham Zoo, Joker. Yeah. This book is called The Riddler something, Gotham Knights, So, there was a lot of cool Easter eggs there. Little hints. I don't even know if they're Easter eggs, little hints.
I wonder if that was the World's Fair from, like, Mask of the Phantasm.
He's reading, the book that he's reading right now is the Grey Ghost.
The Grey Ghost. But he's talking about the World's Fair poster right above him.
Yeah, I know. And that probably is, it does say World's Fair, which is like a huge deal in like the Batman mythos, but him reading.
Well, I just mostly remember it from Mask of the Phantasm. Still the best Batman movie.
Still the best Batman movie. Fantastic. Yep. I do like the one with the Joker in the Batman Beyond, but that doesn't count.
Well, that's a good one too. That is
it doesn't count as a Batman movie though.
I count it.
It's a Batman Beyond movie. It's different.
Bruce is in it. It's fine.
He is in it.
Bruce is in the movie. It counts.
He is in it.
If Kevin's in it, it counts.
Yeah. Number 3.
My number 3 is Primer number 1.
Oh, I didn't grab one for this. I'm so sorry.
No,
I
that's
didn't read
fine.
Prime.
But this is for Down on Her Luck. Ashley, who is been like shuffled around from orphanage house to foster homes and just kept on shuffling around, and then I just like the premise of the story where it's just like, yeah, she's been shuffling around. She gets new foster parents. It's everybody's world, but it's more her world, and she gets to paint it type thing. I
Like
like
her
it's like,
graffiti becomes almost reality in a
yeah,
weird way.
it's kind of like, well, it's like I can do all these things, and it's like it's really what it's bizarre in enough a way where it's actually really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it has a lot of these like, I'm glad, it's like this is the way I am. The people who have adopted me at the end of this are, kind of understanding, but they don't really know exactly what I can do. But there's a lot of stuff going on there, and it's like it's her world, and she gets to paint it how she sees it, and I like that
Yeah.
aspect of like, she's felt
It's like
like she's never,
escapism as a
yeah,
way of therapy
yeah,
in a way.
she where she's felt like she's never belonged, but she can do whatever she wants with her paint.
Yep.
Bridges that gap together.
Yeah. And this was originally released as a trade, and now they're putting it out in issues. So I've read
Yeah,
it.
I've never read
It's
the
been a
trade.
year or two ago, but yeah, I read
I
it.
never read the trade, so
What a peculiar order.
What a peculiar way to do a comic. Yes, very weird.
But this was really good.
Yeah.
So.
No, good choice. Excellent choice. That comes around to me. Daredevil.
My number 2 as well.
To Daredevil 7, Silent Edmund, Vancouver. It was lust. It wasn't rage or
Yeah,
whatever.
that was such even he thought it was wrath, and that was such a good that was a good subversion, and it completely made sense that he is talking about like his wrath or whatever, but he also does lust for battle. So what does lust mean for someone like Daredevil? It makes perfect sense. And also Wolverine's a pretty lustful guy too, so that even makes sense on that end.
Yeah.
And yet just like Cooter's artwork throughout this is also just fucking amazing.
A knockout, drag down, slobber knocker of a fight between Daredevil and Logan.
Yeah.
Every page is just sequential art at its finest. Aaron Cooter just killing it. And I mean, the cherry on top was then Elektra finally showing back up. Yeah, great fucking issue. There's really not much here on this bone, but the meat that they did cook was the best fucking kind of meat you.
Yeah, I mean, this really is just one big fight with Wolverine, but it was very well done. Like just the artwork, the actual like choreography, the fight itself, and yeah, the writing, the subtext, and like just that was a pretty solid reveal. That like, oh no, not wrath. This is your lust. But I also liked how towards the end of the issue, his suit is back to being red, but I think just because of all the blood he has all over his fucking suit.
It worked so fucking well. Ahmed is just having a blast.
Seems like a visual shorthand for Daredevil can't stay clean for long because he's out there fighting and getting dirty all the time.
And the lust angle means he wants to. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, and he has to acknowledge that about himself.
It's really well done, dude.
Yeah. But and that also, if wrath really is his strongest sin, that means that he hasn't gotten around to that one yet,
Why do you think Homegirl show up in the end, huh?
Yeah.
Who knows what she's gonna be? Because they just talked about lust, and then Elektra shows up.
She was already sloth at the beginning.
Right. But she could be two things.
I guess. I don't think so, though.
I don't think so either.
Whatever.
It's great. Yeah, great.
I bet his friend that he runs the foster home with, the other priest, I bet he's going to end up getting possessed by someone.
Oh my gosh. That'd be a heartbreaker.
It would be. And that is entirely appropriate for Daredevil.
It really is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Ahmed is doing a great job on his turn at Daredevil. Every great writer at Marvel should always get a turn on one of these sorts of characters. And I'm really glad Ahmed got his hands on Daredevil. He's doing a great job with Murdoch. He's just doing a great job.
I love it when we get to pivot from a great Daredevil run right into another great Daredevil run,
Yeah. Awesome. So that was me and Taylor's number 2. So
I'm done. I've already done my.
Oh yeah, you're done. You had number 1 with Spider-Man. So Andy, man, we didn't even talk about fucking Hulk. Was the art that bad?
It wasn't great. I mean, I liked it. I liked the story, but
Yeah, I miss Nick Klein too, bro.
You
I
missed Nick
did.
Klein.
I
You
did.
do.
I did. Cool, Andy. Sorry, sidestep. Go ahead. You're number two.
So,
You're number two this week.
my number 2 is Thunderbolts number 4.
Oh, this was fun, dude. Did you read this, Taylor?
I haven't gotten around to it yet. No.
Doom shows up, and yeah, it was really fun. It was cool. They get
when,
over on Doom
yeah,
in a cool way.
I was super excited to see how the Hive Mind was going to handle Doctor Doom, and they did not disappoint how they handled Doctor Doom. It was just like Doom shows up, and it's like the Thunderbolts are like, "Okay, team, hold on, wait a second.
Yeah.
We have to make sure we don't fuck this up, because if we do, we're totally screwed."
Yeah, it's weird because when this book first started, like he had a pretty good team, you know, but now that he got a Venom infused Black Widow on the team, it's like this team is not to be fucked with. Okay, just leave the Thunderbolts alone because they have a Venom on the team. But even with that said, like Red Skull had like a hideout in Latveria, so they invade Latveria, and then like every 2 or 3 pages it said Doom -10. Doom -9. You know, it was that sort of buildup. But then when it finally gets to Doom showing up, Doom really can't do anything, you know, to stop him. And yeah, it was just really fucking well done. The Hive Mind, maybe a little bit of an easy out there, but it worked. It worked very well.
Yeah, it worked very well. And then we talked about the number 1 being Taylor's and yours number 3, but you got it wrong
So
this
that
time,
leaves it to
Gomer.
me then. I wrapped the show this week. All right. My number 1 is Feral number 1.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I didn't. It was too similar for me.
Oh, it was very similar, but it's really just doing Trish Forstner's, Don Bluth style art in a different horror scenario. So this is from the team that brought you the Serial Killer and Dogs comic.
So this is Stray Cats instead of Stray Dogs?
This is cat. Yeah, exactly. This is not Stray Dogs. This is Stray Cats. It's a cat in the zombie apocalypse. So indoor cats, Patch, Elsie, and Lord get picked up by animal control. We're still not sure why. I bet that heartache's coming down the road. But they get picked up by animal control, and then all hell breaks loose, right? You got this fox in the middle of the road, causes the truck to go off of the road. All the cats escape.
Man, that fox looks high off his ass. Wow.
Oh, he's got rabies.
He's got
That's
the rabies.
the zombie apocalypse. Everybody's got, all the other animals have this advanced form of rabies. So it leans into a lot of those kind of tropes, right? But really, I like this just for that Forstner art, dude. It is incredible. It's like watching a Disney movie from the fucking 90s, 80s, 90s. But then by the end, of course, you get one of the 3 cats who got injured and didn't tell their friends, that old zombie movie trope. But yeah, I adored this, dude. I had such a fucking good time with this. That Don Bluth animation on a comic page that Trish Forstner does, wrapped around Tony Fleek's doing just really good standard horror. Yeah, it's just really good. Stray Dogs with Silence of the Lambs meets, I don't know, Pound Puppies. This is more like Homeward Bound with cats during a zombie apocalypse. They're trying to get home. And yeah, I can't wait for more. This is an ongoing, and yeah, I can't wait for more. I should have grabbed the horror variant. They had like a horror. Every cover.
They had a
like
Dawn of the Dead horror variant.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead horror variant. So, yeah, I can't wait for this to be collected, Taylor, because I really think you're gonna. Did you read Stray Dogs? Did you read that?
No, I never did.
Yeah, you should check that out. It's great. Trish Forstner is awesome. I'm so happy she's doing comics, but. Cool. That's it for us, guys. If you like what we're doing, check out what the Bullies are doing. Leroy and Eli, they got a show. It'll come on later tonight on these channels and more. They're going to talk about a bunch of movies. They're going to talk about a bunch of comics and get links to everything they got going on at OutrightGeekery.com. You can also find out everything we got going on, all the socials, all the videos, all the audios, everything you need to keep up with us, including the group, No Bullying. Andy's running that group over there and just having a great time doing it. Lots of good growth, lots of fun conversations about anything and everything. So yeah, hang out. We appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about all the new books that are coming out this week on the preview show. I haven't really looked at the books coming out this week, so it's going to be a nice surprise. Cool. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Really appreciate it. But most of all, thanks to these guys.
Hey.
No problem.
We are going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to retire off Spider-Man.